Welcome to Office Hours. Lance, we're halfway through loan liquidation training.
Absolutely. It's we're getting into the meat of the course. Probably, we talked about this last week, the most important part, understanding how to do a purchase demand kit. And this should have been a great week for everybody. Got some great poll questions today, so I look forward to see the response on those.
Great. When you all know how to ask questions, so let's go right to the poll questions, Joseph. What percentage of your loans do you sell on the secondary market? Shouldn't that be to the secondary market?
To the secondary market, correct.
None. Go ahead, Lance.
Part of the reason I want to ask this question, the question that was asked that was sent in this week relates to this. When you are doing your purchase demand kit, there's some things that you have to do differently when a loan is sold on the secondary market than when a loan or sold to the secondary market than when you portfolio the loan. So just wanted to see what kind of representation we had.
83% sell their loans, all their loans to the secondary market. I'm assuming more than 50% is we're selling all the loans to the secondary market. So most everyone.
Well, the follow-up question, Bob, will be a good question for this group then.
Okay. On purchase demand kits, how often do you get requests for additional information from the National Guarantee Purchase Center in Herndon, Virginia? Never.
And see, Bob, this is a trick question because we have the same answer twice.
I'm not, I criticized you for on. It's the secondary market. I don't even know where you're going with this, but that's okay.
Just answer one or two, obviously. I think that the reason I asked this question is just to get a take. This will tell me, Bob, the quality of purchase demand kits that are being sent in.
2/3. I was going to say, Lance. Bob, go ahead, Lance. Go ahead.
The other thing, Bob, is hopefully their response to this question would change a little bit after taking this course.
50% have never had an issue.
That's incredible. That's great.
Yeah, that's great. Good for you guys. Question number 3. Do you ever have SBA loans that go into default that the documentation is so bad that you do not pursue guaranteed purchase? This is anonymous. Don't worry.
Yeah, Bob, I'm concerned that they won't answer this one honestly. Yeah. I'm just teasing. One thing I wanted to share with the group, I manage portfolios throughout the country. I picked up a portfolio one time that had 6 loans that they had chosen not to pursue the guarantee. And one of the things I hope you get from this course, and one of the things that I hope you ask questions about, just because the documentation is bad doesn't mean that you, as a certified liquidator, cannot find ways to repair that documentation or work around that documentation. Just the other day, Bob, we had one that did not have the 4506T and did not have the transcripts, and I'm going to share this nugget with everybody. The workaround on that is 3 years, account and prepared tax returns with signatures by the borrowers. Now, it's not a guarantee that it'll work, but it works some of the time.
Lance, 1/3 have had that issue. What's the statute of limitations? How far can I go back?
I don't know, Bob, the actual length of time, but I can just tell you that I worked a purchase demand kit the other day that should have been presented 8 years ago.
Yeah, I think that's a great takeaway. Even if you get dinged for a huge repair, it's better off than nothing.
Oh, there's no question. And the thing on repairs, we have, and this is not a purchase demand kit that I did, but I'm helping them. They got dinged for a $200,000 repair. I am supporting them in their response on that repair because you do have an opportunity to respond to a repair with additional information to reduce it.
Lance,
and we reduced it from $200K, Bob, to $30. So it was a worthwhile venture.
Do you recommend on an absolute mess like that, do you recommend a repair up front? We say, hey, we think this is what we should do, or do you, what's your strategy?
I usually like to dig through the file and just see what the exceptions are, if there are things that can be fixed. And most of the documentation can be fixed. I mean, the only file that I've ever said just cancel the guarantee, Bob, they did not have the guarantees, didn't have the note, didn't have the 4506T. I mean, they didn't have hardly anything in the file.
Yeah.
Yeah, they basically didn't have a file, and I said, you can't fix, you've got to have a base to work from, but you can't fix everything.
So what you would do, I would assume you would list all your exceptions and say, hey, we understand that we're missing this stuff up front, but you would not recommend and you don't recommend an amount, you let Hernan come back to you? Is that what your strategy is?
Well, we'll put the PDK together, we'll identify the potential repairs. One thing that is smart about identifying your potential repairs, if you believe there's going to be some, is you can mitigate the size of your repairs. SBA in all the purchase centers are so unaccustomed to a lender identifying a potential repair up front that quite often they'll just accept, if it looks reasonable and prudent, the amount that's recommended. And in 3 circumstances, Bob, I've recommended a repair, and the repair was for the exact amount recommended.
I would also, if it's a big deal, a big ticket item, I'd get on a plane. I'd go talk to Vanessa and say, hey, we need some help with this one. This is a special case. We understand we have problems. What do you think we should do? That's what I would do.
Well, and I think, Bob, you bring out an exceptional point. SBA, even though they repair, even though occasionally they deny one, their objective is to pay.
Yeah.
If they don't pay the guarantees, Bob, there's not a lending program.
There's not a program.
So they're not opposed to working with you to help you get the guarantee paid.
Yeah, especially if you could, hey, we understand we have issues. Help us out, and they'll help you out. I mean, they're good
and
people.
Bob, I'm gonna share this. One of the things that's helped me be successful for my clients in getting their guarantees paid is just being persistent.
Yeah.
There's a particular purchase officer in the office I used to manage. I know him. He likes to zing you bang, bang, bang with things that he don't understand or things that he might want. And I think his perspective is, if I zing you 6 times, you'll quit. But what I've learned is if you just keep popping him back with information, he'll eventually roll over and pay the guarantee. So persistence sometimes is a very critical quality in getting paid on the
Well, you
guarantee.
heard it from Lance. He says he got one in 8 years. Go back and take a look at those files. There may be some found money for your bank. Are we through with poll questions, Joseph? We have one more poll question. What percentage of your purchase demand commits submitted get repaired? I'd be interested in this. None, less than 25%, more than 25%.
Well, I'm interested. Yeah, I'm interested, Bob, because I know the actual statistics. So,
What is it? What is it?
well, the SBA indicates that they pay on 92 to 93% of the guarantees. And a few years ago, there was a statistical study to determine how many guarantees. The repairs run about 40 to 45% of that 93%.
Yes.
So you're going to see a repair on about 30 to 35% of all SBA purchases submitted.
Wow. It's 50-50. 50 say less than 25% and 50 say none. So.
Now, Bob, that sounds like a big percentage on repairs, but quite often the repairs are very small.
I understand that.
Very small repairs.
Very good. What's the takeaway for week 5, Lance?
That it's just important to understand the various elements of the purchase demand kit. You want to put it together as completely and accurately as possible. And the one thing that I'll tell you, if it's not there, don't just ignore it. Put a sheet of paper in that says tab number 7, mortgage. We don't have a copy of the mortgage. You can't just ignore an item that should be in there. It'll slow down the purchase demand or the guarantee purchase process and quite often cause problems with your effort to get paid on the guarantee. If it's missing, identify it and explain
And
it.
you are directed in the SOP rewrite last year, I believe, you are directed
Yes.
that if you have a discrepancy or a documentation error, you must disclose it. This is not an option. You are directed that you have to disclose errors. So take that advice very seriously.
Well, and the other thing I'd throw out, Bob, I talk about this early in the certification course. When your loan goes into a default, it's a great time to do a good thorough file review, determine what exceptions exist, and fix them. And that way you'll have the most complete purchase package that you could submit.
Lance, we have a loan that we sold it to the secondary market. Now it's defaulted. What do I do? Tell me what I have to do with that special, unique situation.
Okay, the liquidation process on a loan that's sold to the secondary market's a little different. It does require a touch more work. First thing you're going to do is put the loan into liquidation. Now you're required to do that by using E-Tran. So you'll go in E-Tran, put the loan into liquidation. Shortly thereafter, the SBA is going to come back to you with a letter that says this loan's in liquidation and needs to be purchased from the investor. You have the option as a bank of purchasing it from the investor, or you can let the SBA do it. I'd say probably 98% of the time, Bob, SBA ends up buying back that portion. Okay, once the loan is bought back from the secondary market, a clock starts. And you have 45 days to get what's known as a pre-purchase package. And basically, a pre-purchase package is a purchase demand kit without the liquidation part of liquidation of the assets. So you're going to pull together a pre-purchase package and submit it to the SBA. Once that's submitted, you're going to walk through the liquidation process the way you would on any other loan. And once all the assets are liquidated and applied, once you've looked at the potential of pursuing the guarantors, you'll do a post-purchase package at that point. The post-purchase package will go in, and that's where they make the determination if the guarantee is going to be paid and how much. And then you're going to wrap it up and make a recommendation for charge-off. So really the difference is that requirement for you to consider whether you want to buy it back from the secondary market. Like I said, about 98% of the time SBA does it.
Is there any advantage to the lender to buy that back itself, or just have SBA do it?
Well, here's one example, Bob. If you had a over-collateralized loan, which how many times do you see that in an SBA loan? But if you had an incredibly well-collateralized loan, there could be a reason for you to do it. But in all the loans I've worked on, Bob, as a liquidator, I've never seen a bank buy one back yet on the ones I've worked on. Again, the main difference is once that's happened, you have to do the pre-purchase package, which is basically a purchase demand kit without the liquidation information, and then you have to do the post-purchase package, which is what determines what you get paid.
I worked for a lender where we had a couple situations. We were over-collateralized. We actually went ahead and released SBA off the guarantee. You can't do that anymore, can you?
You're talking about cancel the guarantee?
Yeah, they canceled the guarantee and recovered more than the amount of the loan.
Actually, you could cancel the guarantee, but if SBA had bought back the portion from the investors, you're going to have to write the check to SBA.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's, the one thing about...
I want to be clear. I know that's been changed. So if for some reason you recoup more than the amount of loan, you have to remit SBA back their share. I just want to make that clear.
You have to share the excess recovery with SBA.
You can't keep it.
The one thing when you have a loan that's sold to the secondary market and SBA buys back the investor's portion, you suddenly have a new, SBA is your partner anyway, but SBA has a more proactive role in the liquidation of the loan at that point. So you do have a more active partner at the SBA during the liquidation process.
Lance, tell me about week 6.
Week 6 continues the discussion of the purchase demand package. We finish up We actually take a look at the tabs, and then we jump into the Express Purchase Demand Kit and show you the differences in the Express Purchase Demand Kit. The one thing that's exciting, and I don't know how many Express lenders we have, but I'm going to assume most are that are on this call. Express Purchase Demand Packages, the payment of the guarantee's been amazing over the last several months, Bob. I've done in the range of 15 to 16 purchase demand kits in the last 3 months, Express Purchase Demand Kits, and we've been getting paid in less than 20 days.
Nice.
So both Fresno and Little Rock are doing a really excellent job of processing Express Purchase Package. I even took the time, Bob, to write a nice letter to Washington on behalf of both Fresno and Little Rock on how well they're doing processing those.
Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, we always tend to be critical. When they do a good job, they should be give them a shout out. Well, very good.
Hey, I think you make a great point, Bob, and I would encourage all of you as bankers. We find a lot of reasons to complain about the SBA, but if the SBA provides you exceptional service, and trust me, they'll see this and this will help you. Why did I take the time to write the nice letter? Well, they've been processing these Express Purchase Packages quickly, and I'd like it to continue. So it's not going to hurt the process to throw some accolades toward some of the SBA offices.
Great. Good for you. Do we have any questions? We're clear. Lance, everyone, enjoy the weekend. We'll talk next week.